Some say that men have hearts of stone, but surely some stones have the heart of men. This is the story of the man who saved the Taj Mahal. It sketches the career of Mr. M.C. Mehta, a lawyer and activist, who is trying to protect the environment, people's life, health and cultural heritage of India. The film is about his life, but it will evoke your concerns. Here we present a few cases Mr. Mehta has fought to protect the country from pollution, acid rain, and chemical wastes.
One day, when I was in a social gathering, a gentleman walked to me and he said, "You lawyers are very greedy." And I had met him for the first time. So I told him, "What is your problem?" He said, "The Taj Mahal is dying and I admire this monument and nobody is interested to save this monument." That meeting was just for a few seconds. I had not met that person after that. And that person changed my whole life. I came to know for the first time in 1984 that the Taj Mahal had a marble cancer. And this marble cancer was affecting the monument because of the acid rain. I started learning more and more at that time that what is this atmospheric pollution, because I did not know anything about the pollution aspects at all at that time. I was very new to this field. But when I came with a scientist to visit the whole area, I realized that the Mathura refinery, which is located very near to the Taj Mahal, was one of the major polluting industries apart from other industries in the Taj trapezium. The Taj trapezium is a 10,400 square kilometer area, and in this there are 255 historical monuments, nationally protected monuments, and 4 World Heritage Sites. So it is not the question of only the Taj Mahal, it is that with the Taj Mahal, the whole city should also survive. If the city becomes dead, the Taj Mahal cannot survive. The other monuments cannot survive. So it is very essential that with the Taj Mahal, and saving the Taj Mahal means saving everything.
The Mathura refinery was generating about 800 to 900 kgs of carbon every hour. and totality of that was directed towards Taj. We called NEERI, the National Environmental Engineering Institute, to advise us on that. NEERI went and examined this, set up various inspection stations, and they came out that Taj is actually in the process of suffering what they call yellow cancer. If this pollution continues, probably, God forsake, in about another century, the Taj may not be there.
My only concern was that no, the Taj Mahal is one of the most wonderful monument in the world. It should be protected. So that is what I want. But my whole opposition lobby, they came out and then even they demonstrated before the Taj Mahal. They burned my effigies, they did so many things. And they said that no, we don't want the Taj Mahal, we want that these polluting industries should continue.
We wanted the Mathura refinery to change the fuel. We had the experts, including some foreigners, Italians and others. No, but the government of India took a very stern stand saying that it is practically impossible to change the fuel pattern in the Mathura refinery. Primarily because the nearest pipeline is about 400 to 500 miles away from, not miles away from that. And it is difficult, it's a huge lot of expenditure and time consuming to involve in all. Well, Supreme Court has no power to force anybody to do it. We could only persuade them. Anyway, we continued persuading, and finally they agreed, all right, if they are given 3 to 4 years time, then probably they may be able to do it. And they said they'll examine it.
When I filed this case before the court and it was listed for hearing, I had a shock of my life because the honorable judges were not ready to listen this case. They said that no, we don't want to hear this case because the government of India and the state governments, they should look into whatever you are talking about. And the court said that we don't want to see that the go into this question because the India is a poor country and already so many hundreds of crores have been spent in this refinery, and so the court is not interested in all this. Then I said that in preparing this case, I have taken 6 months, more than 200 hours, and this honorable court is not hearing this case even for 2 minutes. So at least I should be heard. I said that I have one duty, whereas your lordships have 2 duties. First, your lordships are the citizens of this country, and as a citizen, you have the duty to protect the cultural heritage and the environment of this country. You have failed in the first duty. And the second duty is to deliver justice. And the court is not delivering justice to me. So for the third time, then the paper books came back to the honorable court. Then they gave me the time, and I argued that for about 30-35 minutes, and then the presiding justice, he nodded. He said, yes, we issue notice in this case. And that was my first case on environment, and it was a great challenge at that time because public interest litigation and this environmental litigation was nowhere on the scene. Just it was like sowing the seeds without even thinking what is going to come out of that.
It took Mr. Mehta 12 years to fight the case alone in Supreme Court of India and finally won it. The court ordered closure of several polluting industries in the area unless they changed to clean fuel.
I remember it was end of December that they inaugurated the gas in the Mathura refinery. The result was that the pollution came down from 8 to 900 kg per hour to just 87 kg per hour. And that also stopped because the experts suggested that they should have some different machinery to control further pollution, which were also expenses, which they also installed. And this is how we tackled the Mathura refinery.
And then the court, looking into every aspect, delivered a landmark judgment where a worker, it was said that the first option was that the industries, those industries which will not switch over to the cleaner fuel, they will have to close down and shift out.
So we in our own way tried our best and we succeeded in all our ventures which we started. Of course, MC Mehta was a lawyer, I was the judge, Supreme Court was our patron. So all on this basis we did it. I think the Supreme Court of India is the pioneer in controlling pollution in a country through the process of courts. So we have done the maximum judgments are ours and maximum relief we have provided in this field. So this is in a nutshell the story of Taj.
After the Union Carbide gas leak in India and the Taj Mahal case in 1984, the country suddenly woke up to industrial pollution in their backyard. People started voicing concerns about chemical waste being dumped in their villages and rivers. Mathura, a holy city, birthplace of Lord Krishna, was in crisis because its lifeline, the Yamuna River, the most holy river for millions of Hindus, was totally polluted. People started coming to Mr. Mehta from all over India to plead their cases.
90 के दशक में अचानक मथुरा में साड़ी उद्योग घर घर में साड़ी उद्योग चालू हो गया। परिणाम यह हुआ कि जिस दिन साड़ी की वो लाल रंग में साड़ी रंगी जाए तो यमुना लाल, जिस दिन काली रंगी जाए यमुना काली, नालों का पानी, साड़ी का पानी, फिर साड़ी कारखानों का जो केमिकल है उसके रंग के साथ में केमिकल जाता था। तो लगता था कि सुबह लोग यमुना स्नान को गए, वहाँ हजारों मछली मरी पड़ी हुई है, उनको कौवे नोच रहे हैं, कुत्ते नोच रहे हैं, कोई अपनी गाय पटक गया है तो उसको जो कुत्ते घसीट रहे हैं, डेड बॉडीज पड़ी हुई हैं। तो ऐसा भीभत्स से कोई श्मशान जैसा दृश्य पूरा जो मुख्य तीर्थ, तो श्रद्धालु बड़ी भावना से आते थे, उसको दृश्य को देख करके रोते हुए जाते थे। तो उस समय माननीय MC मेहता जी एक रिट चल रही थी इनकी सुप्रीम कोर्ट में ताज टिप्पणी को लेकर के, TTF को लेकर के। एक इतने 37-87-85 रिट की थी गंगा एक्शन प्लान के अगेंस्ट। उस समय स्वर्गीय राजीव गांधी ने गंगा एक्शन प्लान चालू कर दिया था। तो इनकी एक रिट चल रही थी कि गंगा जब शुद्ध होगी और गंगा की जो प्रमुख सहायक नदियाँ हैं वो शुद्ध होंगी तो गंगा शुद्ध होगी। तो हम लोग अखबारों में पढ़ते थे और ये लगता था कि कोर्ट्स काफ़ी इसमें रिलीफ भी दे रहा है। तो हम लोगों ने ये प्रयास किया कि इस रास्ते को भी अपनाया जाए।
When I came over here, I saw the temples, I saw the monuments, I saw so many things and the unique culture of this whole Braj Bhumi. So I realized that no, we are losing some valuable treasure. So then I started thinking how the case can be built. So then I learned that yes, one factor is the acid rain. The second is the pollution in the water courses. The Yamuna River was highly polluted. And then 3, that there are other factors which are also the other industries like the foundries like the chemical industries and so many other industries which were equally polluting the air and which were affecting the whole atmosphere.
स्टेटस जब सर्वे हुआ हाई कोर्ट के आदेश पर, तो ये पता लगा कि अक्टूबर टू जून एक सिंगल ड्रॉप पानी जो है ओखला से यमुना में नहीं छोड़ा जाता। तो फिर ये प्ली रखी गई माननीय उच्च न्यायालय के सामने कि जब ओखला से एक बूंद यमुना पानी, चाहे वो नाला मिला हुआ अलग विषय है, लेकिन भावना का विषय है कि यमुनोत्री से कुछ तो आ रहा है। जब एक बूंद वहाँ से चल ही नहीं रहा है ओखला से, तो फिर जो कुछ है वो नाला आ रहा है। तो मेहता साहब के तर्क के सामने तो करनी इससे, और स्टैंडिंग काउंसिल अपनी बात कह रहे थे। तो उन्होंने कहा मुझे तकलीफ है कि शायद मैं लेमैन को अपनी बात समझा देता, चीफ स्टैंडिंग काउंसिल को बात ये नहीं समझा पा रहा हूँ, यमुना का पानी होना चाहिए।
At that time I visualized that I should take this case in this way. If I fail in one point, I should go for the other. If I fail in the second, I should go for the third. It was like, because in the courtroom you have to be very careful about how to build the case.
16 जनवरी 1998 को वो एज ए रिट पिटिशन वो लेटर जो एक्सेप्ट हो गया। उस हियरिंग में जो हमने जो है अपील की थी, प्रेयर थी, वो सब तो मानी ही गई, बल्कि उस समय जो बाद में और सोचा गया कि किन किन चीज़ों से यमुना ये पॉल्यूट हो सकती है और उस पॉल्यूशन को रोका जा सकता है। तो ये ऐसी उपलब्धि थी जिस समय का माननीय मेहता जी हम प्लीट करते थे तो पूरा लगता था इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट सुनने के लिए आता था।
Cities in India were witnessing the breakdown of every single environmental norm. Chemical factories were being built in the middle of the cities like New Delhi and Mumbai. Mr. Mehta's efforts to protect the environment through legal recourse continued as environmental hazards kept growing and affecting every single aspect of urban and rural life. But at the same time, Mr. Mehta had an uphill battle with the corrupt politicians and lethargic bureaucracy. New Delhi, capital of India, became one of the most polluted cities in the world, and Mr. Mehta continued varied cases in the capital to protect it from the demonic pollutants.
I have a group called People for Animals, and I was working with Mr. MC Mehta as my lawyer, and we did one significant case, which was on the slaughterhouse in Delhi. And that resulted in norms being put down for slaughterhouses. And the slaughterhouse was shut down for 6 months, which is the first time, I think, in India that a city slaughterhouse has been shut down. And it has resulted in this new slaughterhouse being set up called Ghazipur, and Eidgah has been shifted out of Delhi.
Did it help in controlling the pollution in the city?
No, I have to say that it could have. The problem is that the whole question of slaughter breaks every law. No slaughterhouse, even if it's owned by the government, adheres to any of the laws pertaining to slaughterhouses. It's a filthy, dirty, illegal business. The law says that you can only do 800 animals a day. They do over 20,000. And they're done in completely disgusting conditions. There's been a 2-hour expose on TV 4 days ago about how in the new slaughterhouse, which was supposed to, rectify all these problems, they have found that they're killing cows and mixing the meat with mutton to sell it to hotels in Delhi. Now, every time one interferes, it's a religious attack, which it shouldn't be, but it's interpreted as. So it's basically criminals in the slaughter business. Now, Mr. MC Mehta got a brilliant judgment from Justice Kuldeep Singh, and we worked very hard on this case. It just shut it down for 6 months. It came back, it was okay for about 2 years, and then it went back to being criminal. So things come up wherever they come up, do whatever they want to do. The state pollution control boards don't exist. And public-minded lawyers are very few and far between. You see, one is to be a public-minded lawyer. The other is to do your homework properly. I think that's what MC Mehta did, was he would do his homework properly.
जो दिल्ली का जो स्लॉटर हाउस था, जब मैं मेनका गांधी का केस कर रहा था, तो वहाँ पे जो है वो 12,000 जानवर जो रोज़ के कट रहे थे उसमें, मैं देख रहा था कि ऐसे जो उनका ब्लड जो है वो जा रहा था और फिर नालियों से जो है वो यमुना जी में पहुंच रहा था, तो सारे का सारा प्रदूषण। तो उस समय जो है मैंने देखा कि उनके साथ कितना अन्याय होता है एक जानवर के साथ, कि एक लाइन में जो है वो अपने जानवरों को खड़ा कर दिया और उसके बाद वो एक के बाद जो एक काटा जा रहा है जानवर आपके सामने सामने जो ऐसा हो रहा है। तो ये बहुत गलत बात है। अब उसके लिए मैं क्यों कह रहा हूँ आपको, लॉज हैं हमारे देश में, लॉज हैं, रूल्स हैं कि कैसे जो है वो अगर स्लॉटरिंग भी करनी है एक जानवर की तो वो भी कैसे, उसको सामने दूसरा जानवर नहीं देखना चाहिए, तो उसका भी जो है वो एक नियम है। मैंने जब वो केस लिया था तो 3 दिन में सो नहीं पाया और मैंने देखा ये क्या हो रहा है, किस तरह से जो जानवरों को काटा जा रहा है। उसके बाद मैंने सोचा कि अगर मैं जो इस केस को लूँगा तो तब जो है मैं आज से मीट नहीं खाऊंगा, और तब से जो है उसके बाद मैंने बंद कर दिया, मैंने कोई नहीं लिया।
He had given up his law practice in Jammu, and he had a rather poor opinion about the way some lawyers conducted themselves. But I felt that he was a person who always he always believed in certain causes. He was a crusader at heart. So I felt he could really be a crusading type of a lawyer. And it just so happened he read things that were happening on the environment, the Taj in particular, and this seemed to ignite his interest. So I encouraged him actually to return to law, and I think this is where I felt his future was. He wasn't practicing law at that point in time. He had given up his law practice. But it's been difficult. It's been an uphill task. It wasn't easy. Well, I mean, his taking the cases to court initially, entering the Supreme Court itself, it was a lot of hard work and a lot of perseverance, and at times he had to be very thick-skinned because he was an unknown quantity when he first started his practice. And when he brought his cases to court, there was a lot of work that was involved in it, and a certain amount of, I would call it, perhaps controversial views that he had about things that they may not have been appreciated by some people. So I think he faced a lot of hardships initially. His working hours are very long. They begin about 7 in the morning, and they go on till we can't say when. One has had to put one's own money in to fight these cases. They have not been monetary cases at all. There have been no commercial interest in these cases whatsoever. He fought for some fishermen in Tamil Nadu, and he was going on and on fighting for them, and they collected a certain sort of amount of money, and they came to give it to him. He took that whole bag, he put some more of his in it, and he gave it right back to them. He said, there are certain cases on principle I will just not take any money for because I believe in them. He first actually always does a lot of field work. He spends a lot of time going to the site, talking to people, and collecting his information. And then he fights it on a basis with a lot of thorough background of whatever he's doing and a lot of conviction. The most important thing is he has a great deal of conviction in whatever he is fighting for.
Mr. Mehta's concern for the environment has extended the scope of his work. Now his jurisdiction is beyond the courtroom. He has become an environmental activist and a teacher. He works out of his office in Delhi along with his team of environmental lawyers. He is constantly invited from abroad to speak about his legal cases and as an activist of pollution-free world. He represents India's battle against pollution.
I've been following Mr. Mehta's career, just the enormity of what he's achieved. It's extremely inspiring. I don't think that there is any other lawyer that I know of who has achieved what he has in his career. And it's incredibly inspiring and humbling, and it teaches young lawyers to be optimistic and hopeful about making changes in the world.
Tomorrow we will become 19.
I was practicing law in Australia. I've been an environmental lawyer. I was practicing in Sydney. And I ended up writing to him, and I was fortunate enough for him to actually respond to my letter and invite me to join him to assist him in his practice. Mr. Mehta's work now involves a broad range. It's not just public interest litigation. A lot of it is grassroots education and awareness building. And he's involved in a lot of environmental projects, campaigns in India as well. what's important for young people is to instill a sense of optimism rather than indifference or perhaps cynicism about the way things are and the way governments operate, and to create a sense of self-belief that you can contribute in whatever way to making a change. And I think that's one of the really great things about being around a person like Mr. Mehta.
Eco Ashram is an eco-friendly retreat built by Mr. Mehta in the foothills of Himalayas near the city of Dehradun. Here, young people and lawyers are invited to learn about pollution and develop a consciousness towards the clean environment.
हाँ इस समय धूप आ गई तब फिर कपड़े तो बाहर डाल सकते हो हम लोग नहाने तो दो क्योंकि पहले आप ना वहाँ जा रही हूँ सूख गया इसमें पानी
तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः
These, you see, these were the plants which I planted like this. When they are so small, they just so all sorts of the birds have come over here. There are about 150 varieties of birds now in this whole area, and during winter it goes up to 300. So normally there are about 75 to 100 birds species. They live in this area. It is so good, you know. So you feel very happy.
What was your plan when you started this?
No, my plan was to see that something, you know, that should continue to work because environment is not only that one person cannot make a much difference. More people, if they join the movement, it can really make a difference. And that is what happened, that here we have trained more than 125 young lawyers from South Asian countries. Here more than 500 NGOs, they have gone under training, then sensitize the students, the teachers, so many people they come over here, and that makes a difference. I say that even out of 100, even 10% of the people, they change their mindset, they start thinking, and that can make a lot of difference. And then once they go back to their countries, to their places, they can start talking and they can do some wonderful things. This was a barren land, total barren land.
How long ago?
20 years. This till 97, 98. So in 10 years, this all has changed. Okay. So it was all barren land, and so nothing was possible. For 20 years, it was not, you know, these fields were not being used.
You are a man of ecology. Why would you go in the religion first?
No, ecology and religion, they are together actually. Religion is what I mean. Religion means that worshipping the nature, and nature and ecology, they are the same things.
But making a temple of Shiv here?
No, because this is, you see that you have to, Lord Shiva, you know, is so. It is my innate faith, you know, and I worship Lord Shiva. So So that's why that way it is a unshaking faith which I can't tell you, you know, why I do. But I respect all religions and all gods, because they are those which are above the human intelligence things. I respect them, you know, because I don't see that human beings are everything and they are the people, those who can, this is the cosmic world, they are ruling the cosmic world. No, we are just like a small, like one insect, you know, in the whole cosmic world, and a speck in this whole cosmic world. So that's my belief. So whosoever is superior, we respect, and we should respect, you know, similarly the nature also.
Om Bande Deo Mapatim Surugurum Bande Jagat Karanam Bande Pannagabhusanam Mrigadaram Bande Pacho Nampatim Bande Shurashankavanninayana Bande Mukunda Priyam Bande Bhakta Janashavaradam Bande Syom Sankaram Hare Om Mantrardaha Shabalajantu Munnasantunakaha.
The Ganges is most holy river for Hindus in India. It has unique place in the history, culture, and spirituality of India. The river is worshipped and called Mother Ganga. Hindus believe that its sacred waters have miraculous healing power, purifying one's sins. Every 12 years, a 3-month-long Kumbh Mela happens in the holy city of Haridwar, where millions of people come to pray and have a dip in the river during this auspicious time.
भारत सरकार ने इस नदी को एक तरफ तो राष्ट्रीय नदी का दर्जा दिया है और कहा है कि ये एक नेशनल रिवर है, और दूसरी तरफ जो है वो भारत सरकार या राज्य सरकारें जो है कोई भी ठोस कदम नहीं उठा रही जिससे कि गंगा जी जो वो उनमें किसी भी तरह से गंगा जी के साथ छेड़छाड़ ना हो। गंगा जी जो है वो अगर हम हिमालय से ही नहीं इसको बचाएंगे, अगर ऊपर से ही नहीं बचाएंगे, सोर्स से ही नहीं इसको गंगा जी को बचा पाएंगे, तो नीचे जो है गंगा जी हम पैदा नहीं कर सकते। गंगा जी जो है वो ये एक क्या आप जो वो कहते रहिए कि राष्ट्र नदी है, गंगा जी मेरी माँ है, लेकिन अब माँ तो कह रहे हैं हम लोग, लेकिन हम माँ के साथ व्यवहार हमारा क्या है? तो ये व्यवहार जो है ये बिल्कुल अभी जो है हम बहुत ही ठीक नहीं कर रहे। लेकिन माँ को आदर देना चाहिए, और वो आदर तभी मैं दे सकता हूँ माँ को जो है वो मैं तभी जो है वो माँ का जो चरण छू सकता हूँ कि जब माँ के साथ पास में किसी भी तरह की गंदगी, किसी तरह का कचरा, किसी तरह की डैम, किसी तरह की गलत चीज़ें जो है वो ना हों, तभी मैं माँ को जो है एक ठीक जो है वो अपनी जो आदर है वो दे सकता हूँ।
But now the holy river Mother Ganga has become a dumping ground for domestic, animal, and toxic waste. Half-burned carcasses and garbage is tossed in the river. Government is building dams to control the flow of water. Factories are dumping chemical waste. This will kill the mother Ganga. Mr. Mehta, the activist, is trying to save the river in his new zeal by collecting 1 million signatures during this fair to raise the awareness of clean water.
पिछले 10 वर्षों से मैं मेहता जी को देख रहा हूँ। मेहता जी ने आज से मेरे संज्ञान में जैसा है 10 वर्ष पहले एक अभियान चलाया था और मैं उस अभियान में तब से लेकर आज तक उनके साथ हूँ। उस समय सब लोगों ने मिलकर के यहाँ के कुछ जो विद्वत संत थे, कुछ अच्छे समाज सेवी थे, कुछ राजनीतिक थे, उन सभी ने मिलकर के ये संकल्प लिया था कि हम लोग एक एक जन जागरण करके एक एक व्यक्ति के मन के अंदर ये भाव पैदा करें कि गंगा को पवित्र रखने की जिम्मेदारी प्रत्येक व्यक्ति की है, प्रत्येक मनुष्य की है, जो गंगा से प्रत्यक्ष जुड़े हैं या अप्रत्यक्ष जुड़े हैं। आप देखिए गंगा किनारे जो रहने वाले लोग हैं उनकी तो रोजी रोटी है, करोड़ों लोगों की रोजी रोटी इसके साथ लगी हुई है। हम इसके आने वाले समय की कल्पना अगर करें तो हम मानेंगे कि करोड़ों लोग रोजी रोटी से अलग हो जाएंगे, करोड़ों लोगों की रोजी रोटी समाप्त हो जाएगी। तो इन रोजी रोटी के साथ साथ हमारे भारतवर्ष का अस्तित्व गंगा के साथ है। मेहता जी ने इसकी शुरुआत की है और जैसे महात्मा गांधी चले थे अकेले, लेकिन जब उनका समूह बनता गया तो करोड़ों लोग उनके साथ हो गए और उससे एक से करोड़ों लोगों की परिकल्पना लेकर के जिससे पूरे विश्व स्तर पर हम गंगा को बचाने में समर्थ हो पाएँ। मैं मेहता जी को साधुवाद और धन्यवाद देता हूं कि उन्होंने इस अभियान को प्रारंभ किया है और जनता जनार्दन से अपील करता हूं कि सभी लोग एक साथ एक स्वर में संवेद स्वर में मिलकर के मेहता जी का साथ दें, जिससे हम इस अच्छे अभियान की शुरुआत अच्छे शब्दों में अच्छी परंपरा में कर पाएँ। धन्यवाद।
Kumbh Mela attracts people from all over India. Tent cities are built for people to stay during the festival. These religious sadhus and saints have great influence over the general public. Mr. Mehta is trying to convince them to join his campaign.
ये अभियान तो एक पूरे 2010 के लिए हमने योजना बनाई है और उसमें पहला चरण तो यही है क्योंकि कुंभ का मेला चल रहा है और ये कुंभ जो है वो इसमें करोड़ों लोग जो यहाँ पे आएंगे। आज अगर गंगा जी बच सकती हैं तो ये भारत सरकार नहीं बचा सकती, राज्य सरकारें इसको नहीं बचा सकती। अगर इस माँ को बचाया जा सकता तो हम बच्चे जो है वो हम ही बचा सकते हैं। तो इसलिए हमारा जो जागरूकता का जो कैंपेन है, ये जो अभियान है, ये अभियान जो है वो हमने शुरू किया है और इस अभियान में हमारा ये है कि कम से कम जो है वो 10 लाख जो है वो इसमें जो वो हस्ताक्षर जो है वो लोगों से करवाए जाएं इस दौरान में, कुंभ के दौरान में। और फिर वो हस्ताक्षर करवा के जिसमें कि जो बड़े बड़े जो हैं हमारे जो सेंट हैं, संत हैं, साधु संत और फिर जो समाज से जो लोग हैं वो सारे के सारे अगर उसमें इस तरह से आवाज़ उठाते हैं तो मुझे आशा है कि पूरी तरह से जो हमारी भारत सरकार जो सोई हुई है, जो राज्य सरकारें सोई हुई हैं, जो इस गंगा जी के साथ खिलवाड़ करना चाहती हैं, वो खिलवाड़ करना रोकेंगी।
For his work, Mr. M.C. Mehta has been awarded around the world as well as at home in India. In 1996, he was given the Goldman Environmental Prize for Asia in the United States. Then, in 1997, he was bestowed with Ramon Magsaysay Award for Asia for the public service in Philippines. In 1998, his peers in the United States gave him Carrie Rydberg Award for the environmental activism. He has been awarded several times by private and public organizations in India. But the sad part is that while India is pressured by the Western countries to sign the Clean Air Bill and pollution control measures, most of such chemical and pharmaceutical factories are being built by the Western multinational companies in India, while they are banned to manufacture these chemicals in their own countries. The village of Patancheru near Hyderabad is one such example.
ये सुल्तानपुर यहाँ जो पटानचेरू मंडल का एक गांव है, जहाँ के इसके ऊपर इंडस्ट्रियल एस्टेट्स हैं। वो 20 साल से यहाँ पूरे जो वाटर बॉडीज़ जो है ना, చెరువులు అన్నీ ఇక్కడ చెడిపోతున్నాయి. వాటర్ బాడీస్కు చెరువులు बोलते. तो ఆ చెరువులు చెడిపోవడం వల్ల దాని ఇక్కడ यहाँ का जो ग्राउंड वाटर है वो पोल्यूट हुआ है. आप जानते हैं ये 20 साल पहले आप आए थे यहाँ. 20 సంవత్సరాల క్రితం ఈ మెహతా గారే మన దగ్గరికి వచ్చినారు. గుర్తుందా మీకు అందరికీ? अगर यदि आप पानी नहीं दिलाते तो यह गांव नहीं रहता था, यह गांव यहाँ से उड़ जाता था. ऐसे 20 गांवों को आप पानी दिए. आप पूरे गांव के तरफ से मैं आपको धन्यवाद अर्पण करता हूँ.
In 1990, I had to deal with the chemical industries near Hyderabad called Patancheru area. At that time, we were told that there were 16 chemical industries giving rise to highly toxic pollutants. There were no measures taken for control of pollution. Effluent treatment plants were either not established, or even if they are established, they were not working, because working the effluent treatment plant means some cost, some electricity consumption, some cost, some expenditure. Some 3 or 4 villages, we were told at that time, have become totally, what shall I say, totally ruined. The soil became unfit for cultivation. Wherever you dug a well, the brackish water was coming up, which was totally not potable, not fit for human consumption, not even for cattle. So people brought this water in bottles to my court in 1990. And then we closed all the 16 industries, saying that until you establish effective effluent treatment plants certified duly by the Pollution Control Board, you shall not restart. But then I left the court. I do not know what happened. The matter ultimately went to Supreme Court, and I believe it is now sent back to the High Court. Some monitoring is being done. But even in 1990, the drinking water for these villages was being supplied in water tankers by the government. I do not know, the situation must be either worse or better, I cannot say.
जो आप कोर्ट ऑर्डर दिलाए थे, तो सिचुएशन में जो इंडस्ट्रियल पोल्यूशन का जो सिचुएशन है उसमें कोई बदली नहीं हुई है. आप एक वो अभी डिस्चार्जेस आ रहे हैं. गंडी चेरू, आसानी कुंटा, किस्टारेपेटा, काजी चेरू, किस्टापल्ली चेरू. नाउ द पोल्यूशन एक्सटेंडेड instead of curbing it. उसको रोकने के बजाय वो बढ़ गया है, फैल गया है पोल्यूशन। और इंडस्ट्रियल, आप एक इंडस्ट्रियल एस्टेट था, आप जब 20 साल पहले आए थे, अभी तो 3 इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट हो गए, 4 इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट हो गए, यहाँ का वहाँ आज भी वैसे ही आप डिस्चार्ज करते रह रहे हैं। इसका कारण एक ही है कि इंडस्ट्री इज़ रूलिंग द कंट्री, नॉट द गवर्नमेंट इज़ रूलिंग द कंट्री। वो यहाँ क्रॉप लॉस ही नहीं है, इनका हेल्थ गया है, इनका ज़मीन ख़राब हुआ है, इनका हर चीज़ ख़राब हुआ है। देखिए इसको क्या बोलते हैं, इज़ ए डिसेबल्ड मैन, मेंटली रिटार्डेड। इसको क्या बोलेंगे, इसकी ज़िंदगी क्या करेंगे बोले। इसको अभी तो 15, 16, 17 साल का है। ये पानी, मांजरा पानी आने के बाद बहुत से लोग बच गए हैं, ये मांजरा पानी आने के पहले पैदा हुआ है। देखिए उसका गम्स देखिए, वो क्या होगा, क्या है, इसको कौन एक्सप्लेन करेंगे बोलिए। ऐसे लोग, ऐसे सिटीजन्स यू वांट इन दिस कंट्री? You want this country to be industrialized plus sick country in the world? ये प्रश्न तो अपन आंसर करना है। मैं ज़्यादा बात नहीं करते हुए मैं यही बोलता हूँ कि फिर एक बार ये किसानों को आसरा दीजिए मेहता जी, और कुछ कीजिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट में। हमको हाई कोर्ट में कोई विश्वास नहीं है कि वो लोग करेंगे। यहाँ तो इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट, दे मैनेज, दे मैनिपुलेट, दे इन्फ्लुएंस। सो आई सबमिट टू यू सर टू डू समथिंग इन द सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया। हमको भरोसा है आप कुछ करेंगे। धन्यवाद। थैंक यू।
We started this nearly 25 years ago. We have run out of our stamina. When I say stamina, in terms of time, energy and money, we are only hoping that based on the work already done, the Supreme Court, since it was brought to its notice by the best advocate in the world, Mr. MC Mehta, they should act on it. Sometimes it appears as if the Constitution of India is suspended in Patancheru area. People don't enjoy the fundamental rights, and the government doesn't do what it is supposed to do under the directive principles, and it's a horrible story, And when it comes to what we call at the global level, we are supposed to be talking about a level playing ground, where all the corporates of the world, because of WTO, they are subjected to the same rules of the game, of production processes and marketing and so on. But here the corporates pollute, they produce bulk drugs for the whole world to be healthy. But here in this region, people are suffering, they are dying of cancers and tumors. And particularly Sultanpur is one place where the population, instead of increasing, normal increase, that is the only place I think where the population is decreasing because of the chemical pollution.
It is an unequal battle. And in this unequal battle, the industrialists, they are so powerful. They are multinational companies, they are big national companies, and they have the money bags with them, and then with that money bags everything is happening, And as far as the court process is concerned, they are trying to see that it becomes so slow that the wheel of justice, they stuck somewhere for years together, and only court is now the Supreme Court, that if we go there, maybe that wheel which is stuck into the mud, that may come out again.
See, in our system of government, the court can only pass orders, but the execution, the implementing the order is left to the executive, the governmental machinery. And the governmental machinery, either because of inefficiency or because of corruption or for whatever reason, the problem with India is the governance, the lack of the ineffective governance. We have got excellent set of laws. The legislature, parliament has been passing good laws. The question is one of implementation. It is the implementation part that is the Achilles heel in India.
It is so sad to see that the laws are here in this country, and environmental laws are here, but these environmental laws are not enforced at all. The authorities, they sleep over the affairs. The politicians, they don't take any action, those who are in power. And then at the same time, the pollution control boards and the agencies which are responsible to enforce law and see the implementation of the court's orders, even they are sleeping and they don't want to do anything which is unpleasant to the industry. Under these circumstances, the people are suffering, the people I have met so many people, and so many people, they are sick. Some people are suffering with cancer, some are with paralysis, some are with known and unknown diseases, and they can't even go to the hospital for treatment because they are so poor. At the same time, they don't have the proper drinking water for their animals, for irrigation to their crops. And so this is really a toxic hell on earth, and the only course is that these people, they should be given a compensation. The people, those who have put them to such hardships, and they destroyed the whole ecology of the area, they should go to the jails. They should not be, because they are the worst offenders, and the offenders, they don't need any leniency or any mercy at all.
I only hope we all together hope that there will be more MC Mehtas, there will be more effective governance, and there will be a better future for all of us.
Mr. Mehta is flooded with so many cases every day in his office. He continues to speak all over the world, training young lawyers and young students in his ashram, arguing, cajoling politicians, and industrialists for a clean environment. For Mr. Mehta, the journey continues.
We have 14 perennial rivers in India, like Ganga, Jamuna, Godavari, Brahmaputra. All are water sewers. They are not water channels. They are sewers. You can't take. There are thousands of industries which have no treatment, pollution control devices. They have none of them have got it. Because it is very difficult to install them, but once you install, it's much more difficult to run them. Nobody does it. Our airs are polluted, our waters are polluted, our forests, you can see that. If a politician gets a permit to, he says that, oh, that is a sort of dead wood, we have to chop it off, one tree, and he cuts hundreds and takes away. So this is happening. Things are improving, but slowly. So this is all the situation. They have not changed as yet. Lot to be done. We have to fight on both the fronts. We have first to have the pollution control inside the country. Our rivers, our waters, our airs, our forests, they are to be cleaned up, they are to be done, and then we have to restore the damaged ecology, and then move further with the process of sustainable development. Side by side we take climate change and all, but it has to be done.
But as the experience of the beautiful Taj Mahal proves, and as the struggle to save the Ganges proves, we can no longer ignore man's impact on the environment. Pollution has managed to do what 350 years of wars, invasions, and natural disasters have failed to do. It has begun to mar the magnificent walls of the Taj Mahal. Since 1982, protection of the monument has been a major priority, and the fight has yielded significant advances. But still, a constant effort is required to save the Taj Mahal from human environmental degradation, what some scientists call marble cancer. I can't help wondering that if a stone can get cancer, what kind of damage can this pollution do to children?
The court in 1996 gave various directions, and the one after the other, all these directions, some of the directions have been carried out, but some of the directions have not been carried out so far. So this is what has happened, but now the court is still hearing the case and monitoring the case from time to time, and I am quite hopeful that the unfinished task will be finished once the court starts hearing further monitoring and hearing this case. But more than this is the job of the government of India. This is the job of the other international organizations. And since this monument does not belong to India alone, it is a World Heritage Site. It belongs to the whole world. So I think that this is the responsibility of all the citizens in the world and the other governments and the other institutions to see that the Taj is protected. The other World Heritage Sites within the Taj trapezium are protected, and the people, they can have fresh air to breathe and clean water to drink.